Okay, good day everybody and welcome to JC Transformation Strategies. Welcome to another Sunday Bible reading and study session and informative session. Now, you know that every week on our sessions is more like motivating, counseling, and exposing truths. Okay, so on JC Transformation, we don't sugarcoat any truth, so we say it out because we need to know what is happening and we need to align ourselves to our destiny. Okay, so anybody who celebrated birthdays throughout this week, like my dad who has celebrated, happy birthday to everyone and happy anniversary and all the special days where the baby has been born. Congratulations. Okay, right, so today's topic is so much alarming and it's so much catchy. Okay, we're going to be discussing is why lust dominates in the marriage nowadays. Okay, so let me repeat it. Why lust dominates in marriages nowadays. Okay, so you know that lust is quite a big topic and we need to understand what it is so that we know where we're going. Right, so in Genesis, we do everything biblical. So in Genesis 2 verses 24, it says that a man leaves his father and mother when he marries his wife and he unites with her, and the two becomes one. So they become one flesh. Okay, so remember there's a conversion happening here, two becoming one. Right, so the next verse that we need to open up is 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verses, let's read from verses 1 to 2. Okay, so it says that it's all about the questions about marriage. So if you ever want to know what chapter in the Bible I need to read about marriage, you go to First Corinthians. My bad. 1 Corinthians 7 verses 2. Okay. I'll be reading from verses 1. Now, to deal with the matters you wrote about, alright, but there is so much immorality. Every man should have his own life and every woman should have their own husband. So the Bible clearly tells you that if your desires is so much, you should have your own husband, you should have your own wife, okay? A man should fulfill his duty as a husband, and a woman should fulfill her duty as a wife, and each should satisfy each other's needs. A wife is not the master of her own body, but a husband is. In the same way, a husband is not the master of his own body, but the wife is. Okay? Right, then we look at Proverbs 18 verses 22. Alright, so it says, find a wife and you find a good thing. It shows that the Lord is good to you. Okay, now this is more like for people who actually found the one, okay, and was actually praying for the one, okay, in the process to get. So it says, find a wife and you find a good thing, and it shows that the Lord is good to you. Okay, so we're going to be looking at marriage, and a lot of people and like religious leaders, they don't talk about this. They have like a lot of prayer sessions to do, but you don't really talk about what is marriage, what is happening, and how marriages actually break. So that is why today's topic is going to be exposing the truth about it. Okay, so what is marriage when we look at it? It's a legal sanctioned union actually between two people. Okay, so remember now, you started off, you found the one. Okay, this is the one, and you started off from a friendship, then you go to a relationship, and you just know that you guys click, this is the one. Okay, and then once you guys decide that it's okay now, then you move into marriage. Okay, and you know that you're happy with that, and that's actually a very special moment because there's something within you that you know that there's a fire that's burning within you and nobody can put it out. Okay, that's something special. That bond is absolutely special. Right, so it's a legal union and agreement, and of course it's done with a marriage officer that's officially a registered officer, not just anybody. And then they will literally do the whole process, ceremony, and all that stuff, and then you do your vows in front of people as witnesses. Okay, it's a very special moment. Now, also, when you actually go and research about marriage, there's so many different types of marriages, because you can be married through civil union, in community, out of community, and even based on laws like arranged marriages and all of that. So there's different types, and personal relationship as well is the most important one, because that one is deep, intimate bond between two people. That's really special, right? But then the marriage continues and everything goes well. But then after that, then the evil forces come in, which is lust. Now, what is lust? Lust is basically a strong sexual craving or desire for something or someone. Okay, so it's not only where you desiring somebody, it can be desiring something. Okay, you desiring that magazine, that film, or that video, or that social media account that you've been following on Instagram and TikTok or YouTube, and you desire that. So that becomes your lust. Okay, some people even have a lust and a greed, a desire for money, and all of those things. Okay, right. So these are all strong desires, but these strong desires are not based on God. It's not spiritual, it's not in line with the word of God, and it's not in line with the positive energy from the universe. Right. So lust is basically something, it's a negative force, it's a negative energy, and it's something that you have given attention to, and that is why it creeped into your life. Okay. So we need to look at do how does lust actually creep into your life. There has to be doors for entry. Right. So while I was literally doing this message, God actually spoke to me about how I'm going to lay it down for you to understand about it. So the doors for entry, for lust to enter, there's 3 doors. Okay. The first door, which is the most important door, is your eyes. Your eyes is the most important entry. Okay. So it's your eyes, and then it's your ears, and then it's your mouth. That's the 3 doors. Okay. So let's look at the eyes. Basically, the eyes is what you watch. So whatever you watch now on your social media accounts, like you watch on YouTube, you watch on TikTok, you watch even on WhatsApp, because people can send you random pictures. So you watch these things, because even on WhatsApp now you can actually follow groups and stuff like that. So you watch these things, it's an entry door, and it goes into your eyes, it goes into your memory, it just clicks, okay? It's the entryway. And what happens is that it's something that's visual, so it's something that stimulates you, okay? And if you keep watching it, it's something that's really got your attention, okay? So your eyes is so important. So I always tell you, watch what you watch, okay? Because there's so many things happening. And now, remember, now you married or you're in a relationship and you're watching this crap, okay? And it's not good, because you want, it creates a desire in you. So the main entry is your eyes, and the Bible speaks very clearly about the eyes, where it actually leads to a lot of things. And especially like when the Bible says that even when a man looks at a woman with his eyes, he's literally already committing like lust and adultery, especially in the inappropriate way. Okay, because you just know when something is not appropriate. So the first entry is your eyes, okay, because everything and everyone is accessible nowadays. Then the second entry is your ears. It's what you hear, the voices. Now, how does this come? Okay, this basically comes that once you're comfortable with somebody, and I mean that somebody that is outside your marriage, and then what happens is that you start to hear the voices. So they start phoning you, they start sending you voice notes in late parts of the nights, and nobody knows what's happening, or even during work hours. So it's so confidential that even your partner will not find out about it. Right. So you're hearing these things, some are complimenting you in a flirting way or in a way that's not appropriate. But you got carried away with the voices, especially some women, they get carried away with the men's deep voices. All right. And the thing is, you already have somebody and you listening to other voices, that's not good. It's time for you to move on. We know that you were excited those years with those deep voices and all of that, but now you're grown now. Okay, you're not in school anymore where you have a crush and this and that. We've all grown. Okay. But if somebody is still in school and still learning, please pay attention. It's very important to learn these things, because nobody is going to tell you this, okay? Sometimes we all have to learn it the hard way. Okay. So your ears is very important. What are you hearing? What movies are you watching? What exactly are you hearing? You need to get some relationship advice from people that literally breaks good relationships, because They are talking about things that stimulate your emotions and play around with emotions. And you end up thinking that your partner is a bad person just because of their coaching. And unfortunately, you're going to get this type of people. Not all coaching is good. Okay, and I had to literally learn it the hard way as well. You see a lot of people get so many views and they get so much of attention, but the thing is, they know how to play around with your emotions. And remember, YouTube and TikTok moves with that what you watch, so they show more of that. So it's important to discern that, I'm hearing Mr. A, so and so. Is this person literally linked to my spirit? Can I discern? Or is this person just for attention to get views? So they can get a whole lot of views and a whole lot of money, but you are literally breaking down homes, relationships, and marriages. So it's very important to actually discern, is this person's advice worthy? That's where the ears come to place, because it's your entry door. You are hearing these coaches, these mentors, and all these people, because anybody can take a title and say that they're so and so, but they're not. So you need to discern on that. Watch who is motivating you. Make sure you do like a history about them and see that, this person aligns with my spirits. I'm going to keep them and subscribe to their channel. Okay, so it's very important. And the last one is mouth. What comes out of your mouth is so important. Who you speaking to, who you engaging. Now remember, last week and the previous weeks, we spoke about how words create energy. So whatever you say, it creates the energy. And life and death lies in your tongue. So it's very important that whatever you talk, it's linked to your spirit. It's linked to goodness. Don't just talk and flirt around. You're in a relationship. This is not good. You can't literally compliment another woman, oh, you're looking so beautiful, in a different type of tone, or you look so hot. The thing is, like, I've known married people, like, people are married, but they still compliment other people in a very inappropriate manner. And especially when these women are actually dressed up inappropriate, and they go and also give the compliments. And then these women, I'm telling you now, they will think like, you know what, I got their attention, because it's all about getting attention. And there's certain type of woman that likes to get attention, okay, and it makes them feel good even if they're doing the bad things. I think you've noticed by certain people's pictures on the social media. So yeah, it's important to discern about all of this. Remember that some people are taking these pictures because they lack self-esteem. So that is why they don't use much of clothes, because they lack the self-esteem. They don't feel good. So they believe that if they show less clothes, then they will get their attention. Okay. But they are actually coming from a place of loneliness. Okay. So don't ever feel bad as a woman, because I know a lot of women, you feel so bad when you see your husband actually watching those type of things. And you must also understand that those type of women, what type, don't compare yourself to them. Please don't. It's not good. You have high standards, you got your class, everything. So don't compare to somebody that you've seen on the social media. It's all like photoshopped. Everything is not real. Most of it is plastic surgeries. Most of it is makeup. There's like tons of makeup that people put just to cover up. And when they actually take out the makeup out, it's like completely different. So that's why I always say go natural. Okay, so to all the women that's been hurted with those type of things, I pray that God gives you the strength also to gain your confidence. Okay, and don't try and compete and want to be like them and dress up like them. No, you just be you. Okay, so your mouth is very important, what you speak. Make sure that if you are married or whatever in a relationship, compliment your wife, compliment your husband, all right, before complimenting others. That's very important. So before you say somebody else is beautiful and sweet and kind, tell that to your wife every day. Tell that to your husband. Lighten up their moods. Then they know and appreciate. Not just going around and telling other people. Okay. Then, so your mouth speaks what your heart is full of. Okay. So make sure you know who's in your circle. Now, the lust comes in all different forms. Okay. It comes in the pornography. It comes in chats. Remember, you can even have like just a normal chat with somebody by sending hearts and all that. Those things are all flirting. Okay. You shouldn't actually do that if you're in a relationship. The thing is, why Why? You want to get to know somebody else? Like, why? Okay. And then also in movies, it all creates desire for wants, not needs. Now remember, lust is something where it comes out of wants. Want means you want something, it's brought your attention to it, you got a desire for it, but it's a fake desire, right? And needs is something that you really need. Okay, wants is something you can live off. You don't need it all the time. Right. So once has created more like less satisfaction because it's something that doesn't satisfy you. Like like you lust over things and you've noticed that it just doesn't satisfy you because you keep going back for more. Right. Right. So lust is a deal breaker. Okay. So sooner or later that marriage is going to be destroyed. That friendship, that relationship that you've really, really admired, that's also going to be destroyed just because of the negative evil force, which is called lust. Okay. Now, I feel only losers go for lust. Okay, from my opinion, because I feel love actually dominates lust. So I fully agree with love. Right. So also another thing is like, why do some people turn to lust? It's a very important question. Okay, so that is what we need to look at. Now, I feel, and I've also heard that there's a lot of marriages that just lose their spark. They lose that fire that they once had. And a lot of men that when you actually counsel them, when you ask them, what really happened to this marriage and why did you turn to the magazines or turn to the social media accounts and find other people more attractive or just the way they were on a certain scenery site or whatever. Why was that more attractive? And most of them actually say it's because they wasn't getting much out of the marriage, and it's quite sad. And if you're in that position and you're not really seeing anything happening in your marriage or your relationship, I think maybe you should go for counseling. And the counselor is actually going to help you, a clinical psychologist or one of the therapy sessions, and they're going to tell you what really happened. But I think it's better if you both go, but you can do individual counseling as well, just to find out what happened between you and why did that spark go away? Why did that fire go away? Because I know a lot of people, after they have kids, they did some studies showing that when the kids turn like 5, 6, 7, then there's actually a decline in the fire between the partners. But the thing is also because kids are a responsibility and there's a lot of frustration and conflict within having that. So it's very important to look at what really happened. Why did that spark go away? And try to work together. Okay, so working together is important. Go for counseling and pray about it. The main thing is to pray. Get on your knees and start praying. What happened here? You know what? I need God to be the center of my relationship and my marriage, and not lust to be the center. Because if lust is the center, then it's goodbye. Okay? Right, so how do you combat lust? You need to think of why did you fall in love with your partner in the first place? What attracted you together? What bonded you together? And then look at that love feelings and try to rekindle that feelings again. Try to spend more time with your partner, especially if you have kids and stuff. Like, you need to make time. Excuse me, yeah. So you need to make time, to have that time well spent to catch up on all those memories, play games, get back into childhood. There's something about childhood games that actually stimulates your brain and it makes you more happy. So you need to get into that. Play some puzzles, play some cards, just be active and be spontaneous. Okay, then you need to pray, get into some spiritual warfare here. There could be evil forces that's trying to creep into your relationship and marriage. You need to pray, you need to break the generational curses. If there has been a lot of divorce cases, a lot of jealousy, a lot of people didn't like you at the beginning. Okay, you need to break those things in Jesus' name. Break it. Okay, it's very important because you never know what's happening in the spiritual realm. You never know who is praying what they're praying, and all of that. So it's important because not everybody's for you and not everybody's happy for you. Okay, so it's important to know that you need to get into spiritual warfare and pray. Because you can't do everything, you can't take medication and do all the works, but prayer is actually the most important, because that trains your brain and rewires you into thinking positive. Okay, then you need to work together, communicate, listen, and trust. It's important. So if something is not right, speak to your partner and tell them, you know what, I feel like something is just not right. And it's important to say it. But if your partner is being avoidant and all of that, then you have to go for the counseling. Okay. Because remember, it takes two ways to communicate, it's not just a one side. Right. So also I want to say, guys, to those who's like about to get married and stuff like that, it's important to discern and be ready, because you need to be ready: physical, mental, and spiritual. Physical means work in progress. You need to know that when you get married, it's not like you're just getting into that. Okay, it's a big responsibility, because the two becomes one, and then you guys start to get to know each other, get to know how things are. And remember, everybody's different, and your reaction to anger could be different compared to his reaction to anger, because you could be more calm and collected while he's more vicious. Okay, so you have to work together and tell him, you know what, I am not so happy with the way you react, maybe we can work together. Right, so it's very important with that. Mentally, you need to be stable before you get into something. So it's like going into some union and agreement, like a job, and the thing is, you need to be stable. So now with marriage, it's because now there's going to be, both of you are going to be working together towards it. You need to be stable for that. You need to be stable that your decisions are not going to be one-sided. It's two-sided now. So you can't just do things on your own. You need to make sure that your partner is okay with whatever you decide to do. Okay, then spiritual is the main one. You need to be ready. That's more like having a guidance with you, so that when things go wrong, you look onto something. Like if you're a Christian, you read the Bible. So you read all the scriptures. Like as we went over it, we told you about 1 Corinthians, okay, chapter 7, verses 2. And I told you that go into that verse, read it, and make sure that you understand what you're really getting into. So it's important to actually understand. But spiritual is more like what rock you're standing on, so that when things go wrong and things go right down, you have a solid rock to lift you up. That is why we have God, our solid rock, to pick us up. Okay, because unfortunately, marriage, there will be fights, there will be conflicts. Okay, it's actually a good thing, because you know that you're fighting for something that's worthwhile. But if you don't have fights and everything is just okay, then yeah, there's something really weird with that. Because I believe that we all are humans and we don't really agree with everything. So this is more something that you have to work towards. And yeah, so just be ready when you do decide for that. And as we discussed today about lust, remember that don't let an evil force dominate you. Okay, and watch your entry doors, which is your eyes, your ears, and your mouth, and make sure that you know what you're watching and you discern. Okay, so I hope you guys have been blessed with the message, and stay tuned to JC Transformation. Please do like, comment, and share. And if you need any advice regarding lust or anything that you just need some support in, please do pop a comment there. Thank you guys. Bye.